In Unit 1, Week 6, your first assignment is the While You Read the Canterbury Tales, the Prologue assignment. This is a 40-point assignment, so it is a major assignment, and it is an assignment that a number of students have had problems with in the past. So I'd like to take you through just exactly how to set this up and how to go through the Canterbury Tales to help you complete this whole assignment. First thing that I would suggest that you do is click on the link to actually open up the chart. I've provided it for you in a Microsoft Word document so that you do not have to copy and paste it. The assignment asks you to read through the entire prologue, and as you meet each of the travelers, you are to give 3 pieces of descriptive information that you learn about each one. Very first thing that I would do to set this up would be I would click in the brief description box, and I would number each one. That way you make sure that you have exactly 3 pieces of information. Do not feel that you need to put these in complete sentences. They do not have to be. They just need to be detailed. After you have done that, you're going to want to go over to your online textbook or your hard copy if you have a hard copy of it. And you're going to want to open to the Canterbury Tales prologue, which starts on page 96. There's a picture, and on page 97 the prologue actually begins. As you move through the prologue, the host, the leader of the group, is going to introduce you to each of the characters, each of the travelers along the way. So the beginning is just kind of setting the stage for this. And we don't actually meet our first traveler until page 98. Okay, so at the bottom of page 98, you're going to see that we meet the knight. When each character is introduced, the textbook does italicize the character's title, so that should help you find each of them. The chart does go in order, so you should be able to track through the text fairly easily. Once you find the character that you're looking for, you're going to then read the information in the text about that character. So for instance, to begin, there was a knight, a most distinguished man, who from the day on which he first began to ride abroad had followed chivalry, truth, honor, generousness, and courtesy. He had done nobly in his sovereign's war, and ridden into battle, no man more, as well in Christian as heathen places, and ever honored for his noble graces. Now, the information is going to continue for the knight. The knight actually carries into the next page. But even from that opening, we've already learned something about the knight. We've actually learned quite a bit. So let's find something that we can put on our chart. Well, we know that he has chivalry. He's full of truth, honor, generousness, and courtesy. Those seem like things that we should put on our chart. They're definitely key points about him. So we're going to go to our chart, and we're going to say, and we don't even have to put this in complete sentences. He's chivalrous, truthful, and you can always flip back and forth if you need to. What else? He's honorable, generous, and courteous. Okay. And we need 3 big things about him. So let's go back to our text. He had ridden into battle no man more, as well in Christian as heathen places, and ever honored for his noble graces. So from that we learn that he's been in a lot of battles all over the place, so in Christian places and in heathen places, and he has been successful. Now I wouldn't want everything to come from the opening. We do still need to continue reading more about him, because remember, it does continue. When we took Alexandria, he was there. He often sat at table in the chair of honor above all nations. So here, as we keep on reading, we're told all the different places that he fought and he was successful. So that goes along with being in battle in many places. Here is more along the Mediterranean coast. Noble host, 15 battles he had been there. He was wise, skipping ahead, and in his bearing modest as a maid. He never yet a boorish thing had said in all his life to any come what might. He was a true, a perfect, gentle knight. Speaking of his equipment, he possessed fine horses, but he was not gaily dressed. He wore a fustian tunic, stained in dark with smudges where his armor had left mark. And of course, don't forget, there are going to be a lot of terms in here that you don't understand, and these little numbers relate to footnotes. So fustian means coarse cloth of cotton and linen. So now we get a little bit about his appearance, and that certainly can be put in our chart. So, has fine horses, but is dressed very plainly. You're going to find in each of these character sections, Chaucer's oftentimes going to describe what they're wearing. Remember, his work is a social commentary, and attire is absolutely part of the social sphere. So don't be afraid to include that in your description, that's fine. If I were you, I would choose details from his character, details about what he does, details about how he looks. Or if it's a she, of course, what she does, how she acts, and how she looks. That's what you're going to go through each one. So for instance, I finished now the knight, now I know I need to move on to the squire. And here we're going to get information about the squire. You only need 3 items for each. You're going to find that many of them have a lot more. Some are longer than others, so for some it's easier to find 3 than others. But I do expect 3 good descriptions for each one of them. It is going to take you a little bit of time, so please make sure you start this early. If you have any questions or are having trouble finding any of the characters, let me know, and I can point you in the right direction. Thanks.